Do you know that feeling when you open your eyes and there's already a weight pressing down on you? Before you even swing your legs out of bed, your thoughts are spinning wildly with anxieties, troubles, and all the ways today might fall apart. Perhaps you wake up dwelling on financial stress, maybe on approaching deadlines, maybe on yesterday's conflicts that still hurt. And before your day has truly begun, you're already feeling beaten down. If this resonates with you, if your mornings feel like stepping into combat rather than receiving a blessing, then this narrative is meant for you. Because there once lived a person who greeted each new day with anger and resentment until one straightforward practice, merely 5 minutes each morning, transformed everything. Not simply his mornings, but his whole existence. Stay with me through to the conclusion. In a crowded metropolis where towers stretched skyward and citizens hurried through existence like water through fissures, there resided a 35-year-old individual named Daniel. Daniel possessed what society would describe as a satisfactory life. A dependable position as an accountant, a reasonable living space, sufficient income to cover expenses. On the surface, he had zero justification to grumble. Yet every single morning, Daniel awakened in misery. The instant his alarm sounded, his initial thought wasn't appreciation for a fresh day. It was apprehension. Another Monday. Additional work I don't want to tackle. Additional congestion, additional pressure, additional monotony. He would remain in bed for 10 minutes scrolling on his device, examining news that triggered his anger and social media updates that created feelings of inadequacy. Others getaways, others achievements, others contentment. By the moment he forced himself out of bed, his mindset was already gloomy. During breakfast, he wouldn't notice his food. His thoughts were already at the workplace, dreading conferences, expecting difficulties, rehashing yesterday's annoyances. His partner Sarah observed over coffee one morning. She stated softly, "Daniel, when was the previous time you genuinely enjoyed awakening?" He gazed at his coffee mug, unable to recall. "I'm uncertain," he eventually responded. "Perhaps when I was young before existence became complex." Sarah stretched across the table. "Daniel, you're breathing. You're in good health. You have individuals who care about you, yet you behave like existence is a burden rather than a privilege." Her statements hurt because they held truth. But Daniel didn't understand how to shift. The pessimism felt instinctive, like respiration. He would convince himself, "I'll experience happiness when I receive advancement, when I possess more wealth, when circumstances are simpler." But when never arrived, the burden intensified. Daniel's rest deteriorated. His partnership struggled. Even positive news, a salary increase at work, a bright day, couldn't penetrate the haze of his pessimistic thoughts. He transformed into the individual who discovered obstacles in every resolution, grievances in every circumstance. One night, Sarah expressed something that disturbed him. "Daniel, I care about you, but I cannot continue awakening beside someone who despises awakening." That evening, Daniel couldn't rest. He stared at the ceiling, questioning himself a question he'd been dodging for years. When did I transform into this individual? And how do I discover my path back? The following morning, Daniel awakened at 5:30 a.m. unable to rest. Rather than remaining in bed with his reflections, he did something unexpected. He departed for a stroll. The metropolis was still silent. The sun hadn't completely emerged. The atmosphere was crisp and fresh. In a modest park, he noticed an elderly gentleman sitting on a bench feeding birds. The gentleman appeared to be in his 70s, dressed plainly with a serene expression that seemed misplaced in the rushed metropolis. What captured Daniel's attention was this. The elderly gentleman was grinning. Not at anything specific. Simply grinning, Daniel discovered himself attracted to the bench. "Mind if I sit down?" The elderly gentleman gestured kindly. "Please do." They sat in silence for a period, observing the birds. Eventually, Daniel voiced, "Can I inquire something? You appear joyful. Authentically joyful." The elderly gentleman chuckled quietly. "You believe happiness is something you discover, isn't it?" Daniel questioned. "No, young man. Happiness is something you cultivate every single day." Daniel looked puzzled. "Cultivate?" The elderly gentleman nodded. Tell me, what was your initial thought when you awakened this morning? Daniel paused. Truthfully, I thought another day I must endure, and yesterday essentially the same. And the day preceding that, Daniel recognized with immediate clarity, every morning was identical. The identical pessimistic pattern, the identical heavy sensation. The elderly gentleman's voice was soft but resolute. My companion, you've been conditioning your mind to perceive obstacles. Every morning you cultivate pessimism, and now you're extremely skilled at it. Those statements struck Daniel like frigid water. Conditioning. He'd never considered it that manner, but it was accurate. Years of awakening pessimistic had made pessimism his standard. Is there a method to recondition it? Daniel inquired quietly. The elderly gentleman smiled. There is, and it commences with 5 minutes. Simply 5 minutes every morning. The elderly gentleman reached into his pocket and retrieved a small, weathered notebook. He opened it to reveal pages covered with handwriting. For the previous 20 years, he stated, I've completed the identical thing every morning before I examine my device, before I contemplate my day, before I do anything else. I record 3 things I'm appreciative for. Daniel appeared doubtful. That's it? Simply recording things down. The elderly gentleman picked up 2 stones from the surface. One dark, one bright. Imagine your mind resembles a garden. Every morning you plant seeds. If you plant anxiety, fear, and complaint, he held up the dark stone. That's what flourishes in your thoughts all day. But if you plant appreciation, recognition, and awareness of goodness, he held up the bright stone that flourishes instead. He placed both stones in Daniel's hands. Presently, your garden is filled with dark stones. You've been planting them for years. But here's the wonder. You can alter what you plant starting tomorrow. The elderly gentleman explained the practice. Every morning, before your feet contact the surface, before you reach for your device, you record 3 specific things you're appreciative for. Not vague things like my wellness or my family. Specific moments, genuine things. He showed Daniel his own entry from that morning. 1. The manner sunlight entered through my window and heated my face. 2. The aroma of coffee preparing in my kitchen. 3. My neighbor's daughter waving at me yesterday. Minor things? Daniel questioned. The smallest things, the elderly gentleman confirmed. Because the minor things are the existence you're genuinely living. The significant things, success, accomplishment, future objectives, those are merely ideas. But the minor things, those are authentic. Those are now. Here's what will occur. The elderly gentleman continued. The initial few days will feel awkward. Your thoughts will resist. It will state, this is foolish. This doesn't alter anything. That's normal. Continue. After a week, you'll notice you begin searching for positive things during the day because you know you'll need 3 things to record tomorrow. After 2 weeks, you'll catch yourself appreciating moments as they occur. After a month, you'll realize your baseline mood has shifted, not because your existence changed, because your attention changed. The elderly gentleman closed his notebook and handed Daniel a blank one from his bag. 30 days, he stated. Simply 30 days. Every morning, 3 things specific, genuine before anything else. Can you accomplish that? Daniel held the notebook, feeling its weight. For the initial time in years, he experienced something that wasn't apprehension or anxiety. He experienced curiosity. Tempt, he stated. The elderly gentleman smiled. Excellent. Now return home. Tomorrow morning is your initial practice. Day 1. Daniel awakened at 6 a.m. His initial instinct was to reach for his device, but he stopped. He picked up the notebook instead. He stared at the empty page. His thoughts went blank. What am I appreciative for? Eventually, he recorded, 1. I awakened today. 2. The bed was comfortable. 3. Sarah is still here. It felt awkward, forced, but he accomplished it. Day 5. The entries were becoming slightly more specific. 1. The manner Sarah laughed at my joke last evening. 2. My morning coffee was perfect temperature. 3. No congestion on my commute yesterday. He still didn't feel different, but he continued. Day 12. Something shifted. Daniel was at work in a frustrating conference when he noticed the sunlight entering through the window, creating patterns on the wall. Without thinking, he experienced a small spark of appreciation. That's lovely, he thought. And then he realized, I'll record about that tomorrow. For the initial time, he was actively searching for beauty rather than obstacles. Day 17, his entries became richer. 1. The sound of rain this morning. It felt like the world was being cleansed. 2. My colleague brought extra coffee for the team without being requested. 3. I noticed how green the trees are becoming. Spring is approaching, Sarah noticed too. You seem lighter recently. What changed? Daniel showed her the notebook. She read a few pages, tears forming in her eyes. Daniel, she whispered, you're returning. Day 25. Daniel awakened before his alarm, not because he had to, because he wanted to. He was excited to record his appreciation. That morning, he recorded, 1. I awakened excited for the day. I can't recall the previous time that occurred. 2. Sarah sleeping peacefully beside me. 3. The fact that I'm learning I have control over my thoughts. Day 30. Daniel returned to the park at 5:30 a.m. The elderly gentleman was there feeding birds as blues. Daniel sat beside him holding out the filled notebook. I accomplished it, he stated. 30 days. The elderly gentleman smiled. And you were correct. Everything transformed. Not my circumstances. Those are mostly identical. But I transformed. I perceive differently now. Experience differently. Daniel's voice cracked slightly. I didn't realize how much I'd lost until I started discovering it again. Joy, appreciation, the ability to be present. I thought they were lost forever. The elderly gentleman placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. They were never lost, my companion. They were merely buried under years of cultivated pessimism. You simply chose to cultivate something else. What do I do now? Daniel questioned. Continue forever. The elderly gentleman stated simply, this isn't a 30-day challenge. This is a way of existence. Some days will be harder than others. Some mornings you'll have to search longer for those 3 things, but they're always there. Always. 6 months later, Daniel still records his 3 appreciations every morning. It's no longer forced. It's become as natural as respiration. His partnership with Sarah is stronger. His work hasn't changed, but his experience of work has. He still has difficult days, but they don't consume him like before. And every few weeks, he meets the elderly gentleman in the park, and they sit in peaceful silence, observing the world awaken together. My companion, Daniel's story is your narrative. It's my narrative. It's the narrative of anyone who has forgotten how to appreciate the existence they're living while pursuing the existence they believe they want. Here's the truth that transformed Daniel's existence. You cannot control what occurs to you, but you can control where you direct your attention. And where you direct your attention determines your experience of existence. Presently, you have a choice. You can awaken tomorrow the identical way you awaken today, reaching for your device, filling your thoughts with news and notifications, starting the day reactive and anxious. Or you can attempt something different. Here's what I want you to accomplish tonight before you rest. Place a notebook and pen beside your bed. Not your device, a notebook. Tomorrow morning, before your feet contact the surface, before you examine any device, record 3 specific things you're appreciative for from yesterday. Not vague, specific. The manner your coffee tasted, the smile from a stranger, the comfort of your pillow, the fact that you can see, hear, breathe. Accomplish this every morning for 30 days. I promise you this. If you commit to this practice, you won't merely transform your mornings. You'll transform your existence. Not because existence becomes simpler, but because you become better at perceiving the goodness that's already there. If this narrative touched you, if you're ready to transform your mornings and your thoughts, share this video with someone who needs this message. Drop a comment with the initial thing you're appreciative for right now, even if it's minor. Let's cultivate together. I'll be back with another narrative to help you grow. Until then, remember, existence doesn't improve by chance. It improves by choice. And that choice begins the moment you awaken tomorrow. Your 5 minutes of appreciation can transform everything. Awaken appreciative. Stay patient. Continue growing. If you enjoyed this video and want more inspiring stories that can change your life, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming content. Your support means everything to us. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next story.